Hi, hello, and welcome to Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous. I'll be your oracle today. And I'm just going to do some FaceTime with you for the sermon. I'm not going to do a bunch of card stuff. I have some cards out here. I'm not going to do a bunch of card stuff, though. I'm just going to get into these energies, and we're going to talk about it. You know, I don't know yet what to call this sermon, because I was having a conversation with somebody in my community. And this is a person who's doing their best to wake up. You know, some people are very limited. Sorry, excuse me. When you see me yawning, oftentimes an energy shift. And this is a person I've had a lot of judgment towards. And I just had to go back to them and apologize for my behavior, you know. Harmony and lotus flower unfoldment. So I was having this conversation. I was like, hey, listen here, Mr. Mother Effa. You know, you this, that, and none, this, but, and I stand by what I said. But my behavior, you know, if I had the opportunity to do over, I would change my behavior and still use the same wording. So, I said to him, listen, as much as I judge you, I realize one thing. If we were to both face judgment, you know, if everybody on the street, this neighborhood, this block, I was talking about the place that we were in. You know, if everybody here were to face judgment, you're one of the few people who would pass. And a lot of people think it's like, you know, the good that you're doing in the world. Yeah, that's true as well. But your ability to show up with an open heart, present, loving, from a place of non-judgment, wanting to go out into the world and do good, whether or not you do it, but wanting to go out into the world and do good sets you miles apart from the rest. And it was interesting too, because this is an individual that causes a lot of suffering. So self-awareness, knowledge of the self, they don't inflict pain upon people. They just create a lot of suffering for themselves mostly. But also, well, I'll just say that and move on. So I pulled here Ancient Healing Wisdom from the Shaman and the Desert, which is a vision quest. So I'll talk about that. So I was just saying to him, like, if the goddess appeared to you right now, what would you ask her? He's going on and on about his inability to even define what the goddess is. And then I said to him, like, you know, ask the question from your heart, not your mind. And then he was like, well, as I begin to awaken, I find obstacles on my path, you know. And I was like, well, let me help you here. You know, the goddess versus the god. The god is the extroverted energy of the creator. It's the seed of life. It's the pattern that life takes on, but the expression and the experience of life, the consciousness of life, that is the goddess. That the universal unconditional love vibration that is included in all of creation. That is the goddess. The pattern that creation takes form in, the sacred spiral, Fibonacci sequence, would be God. There's a difference between love and a difference between light. They're the same heavenly divine vibration, but, you know, one is an experience and the other one is a pure force. So we had that conversation, and they were saying to me, like, I want to remove the obstacles for me to unify with the creator. And I'm paraphrasing, I'm articulating. I realized he didn't use those exact wordings. And I was like, okay, well, that's the goddess. What do you want to see from the god? Or how can you connect to the god? And he was like, I want to, and I was like, what do you want to teach the world? What is the energy you want to put out into the world? And he was like, well, I want to create sanctuary on this earth. You know, again, I'm paraphrasing, but, you know, I wanted to see children understand that this is our spaceship. This is our mothership. This is planet Earth is our home. You know, I want children to wake up without, to grow up without violence, never known violence, to never have to go hungry. You know, these things, sanctuary. And, you know, it was very beautiful and eloquent for him. But meet people where they are. And so I've been thinking about this. I've been with this. And, you know, sanctuary to me is the temple. It's God's home. Going into the house of God to me is sanctuary. It's where I'm no longer conflicted and confused by all that the administration, the patriarchy has done to me. It's where his story is a funny story that they told us once in the third dimension. And where I can heal and unify with the soul group. And that's what I'm seeing and what I'm here today to talk about. You know what I'm hearing that song time after time? I think it's Cyndi Lauper. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. I'm using the Epic Tarot. It's a Los Scarabeo deck. I don't know the name of it. Oh, yes, I do. And it's by Riccardo Minetti and Paolo Martinello. So it's by Riccardo Martinetti. Oh, Minetti. And I love Scarabeo. And thanks to Barbie A, also known as Kanji, out in Arizona, you gifted me this deck last year, and I finally got around to opening it. And I really like it because the Spirit is with me right now, y'all. Please forgive me. I'm not tired at all. This is the Knight of Cups. And I like this deck because it's very similar to my own personal philosophy. You know, for the court cards, they use unicorns for the pages. They use griffins for the knights, phoenixes for the queens, and dragons for the kings. And I'm inclined to agree with that. So let me tell you my findings. My findings are that when you see me yawning in a channel, it means that different energies are coming through. The resonance keeps changing. So the yawning, you can simulate the yawning sensation. And if you're joining the Mistress School, by the way, check the show notes for information on the Mistress School. For those that are waiting, if you have no connection to the temple so far, you're going to need to wait for a video announcement. But if you have some connection to the temple, you're a pre-existing client or something like that, the link in the show notes will have context for you, and just sit tight, more will come, okay? So, and we're starting on next week, next Friday, the 5th of July. There was a firm spirit interruption, and I'll explain it in closed chambers. Anything else will serve as an excuse, not even an explanation. So my findings are that we're healing. We're healing because we're coming to soul union, but that's requiring knowledge of the self. So those of us who aren't waking up right now, who aren't... So first it was Mercury coming through. We'd know them as Legba. Then it was Jupiter coming through. We'd know them as Sango. I have energies coming through me. And I don't call them by those names. I'm using names for us to easily recognize. So yeah, right now I have Jupiter. So in order to wake up, in order to have knowledge of the self, it's going to require that we stand in our spiritual truths. You know, knowledge of the self, carnal knowledge, and then this can oftentimes mean 9 whole lifetimes. Oftentimes we take 7 lifetimes to really build up our power, and then we get 2 where we really have those deep, meaningful experiences. Those first 7 lifetimes are kind of preparation, and then those final 2 are kind of like, you know, the second inning and the 4th inning of baseball game. I'm not really a sports person. I just know that diamond is, I know the occult terminology behind it. So, you know, a lot of people just think this is wish fulfillment, but it's literally a Brahmin, somebody who doesn't need to reincarnate here again. And that's really what it is. It's like this knowledge of the self, the striking a will upon the universe, that's the healing that we need. But we're not realizing that we've been lifetime after lifetime after lifetime disconnected from our divinity. And it's a perpetuation done to us by the powered elite. Some would know that it's the kings and queens of society, the rulers, the presidents, the prime ministers, etc. There is a circle of people, a cabal, a network, a society, if you would, that perpetuates the technology of keeping us unawakened. Yes. Yes. I cannot stop yawning. And I'm not tired. I'm just open. And you know, I've been not working a lot. And so I'm using the tool for after taking a rest. So yeah, it's a lot of... Also, when I yawn, my third eye flexes, and practice the yawning sensation. Don't yawn completely. It really helps you do some things. And I'll teach this technology in the Mystery School. So my findings are that we're waking up, we're healing, we're finding knowledge of the self. Now, the recommendation is to go forward slowly towards discernment. So be able to recognize the phenomena of the universe, because the way we're conditioned and programmed, it would be... The way that we're conditioned and programmed, it would be to block us, constrict us, keep us from utilizing what knowledge that we had. You know, those with the feather in their cap, those who can recycle and recycle and recycle. And there is a way to record HD I figured out. And I don't know what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I promise you I'm not tired. Well, we should be recording in HD. It doesn't feel like it, but okay. So, I keep hearing that song. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. So, look at that red cap. There's a feather in that cap. And look at this red here. That's carnal knowledge. I don't mean to flip you off. That's carnal knowledge. Pardon me. It's carnal knowledge. I'm hearing that the powered elite have a carnal knowledge that they're keeping from us. And it's been going on for generation after generation. And in this lifetime, we wake up. We figure the way out. We're able to strike our will upon the universe. And so now as we engage with the collective, it's really facing this way. As we engage with the collective, we'll be telling the administration, like, hey, you're sitting there on your throne of all this knowledge. You think you can keep it from us because you want us disempowered. That's not really going to work anymore. So the book is open to us. We now see what's going on, and we have what we need to go down this journey and call upon what we want. We can now navigate the world according to truth. Swords. We can now navigate this world according to truth, and that's going to give us, we'll be able to conjure up exactly what it is that we want. And again, this is the same card. And we'll finally be able to get it. We're going to be equipped to go on there. So let's go to the first part of the sermon. And again, it sounds like we're waking up. And I do feel like that. The Six of Cups is saying, if we're healing, it's because we're having knowledge of the self. And see, that what Six of Cups is about, returning to the soul group, returning to the soulmate is the oversoul interfacing with the primal soul. The part that's on the other side of the veil interfacing with the side that's on the veil here right now. So I pulled music, and it's talking about harmony here. So music is that human. Every letter has a color and a sound attached to it. Every color has a letter and a sound attached to it. Every sound has a letter and a color attached to it. So the music, we have those 7 main tempos or keys, right? And those are the 7 different colors of the rainbow. So our vibe is attracting our tribe. As we're beginning to find knowledge of the self, find knowledge of who we are, the people that should be in our life are showing up. And we've already begun to heal from the expediation of old energies, the people getting pushed away from us, repelled from us, or we being repelled from them. And this is on the grounds of unfoldment. Like I was just talking to you, like whatever is alive inside, it's showing up here in front of us in the physical. And this card just fell out. It's called Ceremony. It's an invocation. So again, as we focus and put our energy into what we want, we notice that we have a little bit of healing. It was fairies on the bottom of the deck, earth magic. So let's pull the archetype for that. What does that healing look like? And we have 6 decks here. I did say we ain't gonna do the tarot thing. So Destroyer. Intoxication with destructive power, destroying other people's dreams or potential. That would be the administration trying to confuse us, trying to conflict us, trying to keep us disempowered. For us to not wake up and find our soul group, find our tribe. I'm hearing this song, it's so annoying, but I'm going to sing it. My God is an awesome God, he reigns from heaven above. I love God. My concept of God is different, though. It's the being that creates from the light, and it literally sits on the head. So it's the third eye of the universe. That's what God is to me. So that's what the administration is doing. They don't care about our dreams. They want us to get lulled to sleep by some dream and program us to go getting a bunch of college debt because we go and get some Ivy League degree and then go work for somebody. And yeah, we might be making $250,000 a year, but we're working for the devil. You know, little stuff like that. So it says releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life. So that would be us. We are being repelled, sometimes ripped away from the things that aren't healing us. And this is on the grounds of guide. So as we're guided towards our inner knowing, we're having to align with new energies, and old energies are beginning detached from us. You know, if you have a violent falling out with somebody, it's because something alive in you has severed a cord to them. You know, I imagine it like Facebook, and this is an on-the-nose example, but it's like, you know, a narcissist. It's the same kind of thing. You know, I deleted a bunch of apps off my phone because I'm not a social networker. I don't give a about Snapchat or WhatsApp. And yeah, I'll use them, but I use them in a business setting. So I can leave it on the iPad and use it. I don't need it traveling around with me. And I don't need to be on Facebook. I use Facebook for business. So I'll purchase my ads and do whatever, but I don't need to sit there and be on Facebook all day. I call that face hooking. So when I deleted these apps off my phone, they were like, oh, gee, do you want to put your app back on our phone? It's like a bad lover, Facebook. You know, they're like, what's your location? Share with us your contacts. You know, put your app back on our phone. Put our app back on your phone. Tell us where you are right now. You know what I mean? And so that's like cutting a cord, and then having this violent, you try to delete your account, and they're like, you can't leave for 14 days, like a bad lover, right? You have to sit there and smell their farts for another couple of weeks while I find a new apartment. It doesn't work for me. I want to be left alone. I want to sit there and pray and be with God. I have my own internet called my intuition, right? And so it says negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety, selfless devotion to single-minded dedication to spirit on the grounds of being a visionary. And instead of selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable, you have a capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. So those of us who are waking up, we're noticing these cords are being cut, sometimes severed, sometimes not even by ourselves. As we align ourselves with new things, the old things begin to be repelled away from us. And that's what these breakdowns are seeming like. Now it's going to happen on a global scale, especially with institutions, structures. Government is an institution in and of its own right. But jobs, a lot of my children are having work transition. Okay, so this is done. So what tool do we use to heal from that, to help with that? And so this is the Soul Purpose Saturday this week. Okay, hold on, let me focus because the deck's not talking. I asked the deck to talk and that song came back. My God is an awesome God, he reigns from heaven above. Okay, Black Cat, your luck will soon change. So we're now connecting to the source that's hidden, that's been hidden from us for some time. And the moon says we'll be guided through the darkness, and this is on the grounds of Griffin. So luck and honor. So for those of us who are willing to choose the harder right versus the easier wrong, saying to a friend that we don't accept that behavior anymore, telling a friend they can't talk to us like that, or telling a boyfriend that we have self-worth and value, and that if he wants to make us compete for his time, then maybe he should move on out of our life. And not liking that we have to say that, but being willing to say that because we won't be able to sleep tonight if we don't speak up for ourselves, kind of deal. You know, going down that journey to align ourselves with our authentic self versus that shamed self that, you know, and it's going to get these toxic people out of our life. It says here, jealousy leads to downfall. But see, me, when I see the Medusa card, and this is the Madame Endora's Oracle deck. Oops, perdón. Madame Endora's Oracle deck. The devil don't want me talking to you. Madame Endora's Oracle deck. To me, the Medusa talks about toxic people. Jealousy, people that don't want to see you succeed. And see, they're not mad at you, they're mad it's you. You know, I had a client recently and it was like her sister, and I see this happen a few times. So if I talk to you about it, I'm not talking about your story because it's a collective thing right now. Her sister is jealous of her, and her sister is like going behind her back trying to snip all the love that people give her because her sister feels like they should switch places. Her sister's toxic, ridden by demons. And this is in another country, so if you're in the U.S., I'm not talking about you. But literally, her sister is like trying. In the indigenous practitioner world, we call it switching somebody's head. So like a person will take over your good karma, and they'll give you their bad karma. I just smacked the fly. That's how I am to flies. Anyways, when the fly comes around, especially when I'm trying to talk about love and light, it means the devil's trying to stop me. And what I say to the devil is just that. So follow your intuition. If you know that you on a puppet, you got it going on. Mother Effa's trying to take you down, it means they're already beneath you, honey. So it's just that. So don't worry because you got this. And we got two more. So a barrier keeps you from your goal. And honestly, you're protected from harm, but you need to say no to the harm, because what it is God will allow you to struggle a little bit because he's not... You can't be of the light and give to the dark. Your imagination clogs your judgment. Triumph over adversity. So what this is telling me is like if you're holding on to people, places, and things and making excuses, but he has a kind soul, but he's nice and sweet. But yeah, but they're sleeping with demons all the time, or they're always drinking, or they're beating their children, or they're stealing from their employer, or they hate their life and all they do is walk around complaining about it. Even if they have a nice soul, or you knew them because you and their great-grandpapa Grand Roach grew up together, but or lived next door to each other. If a bitch is toxic, dump her. Doesn't matter if they're your boss, your landlord, your roommate, your mother. Dump them. You can be loving and compassionate from another zip code. So that's what this is telling me. You sit there and make excuses for them. We sit there and make excuses for them when the universe is trying to protect us. Look, slaying each other. So the message there is, again, it's going to be slow. You're not going to feel stable in it right away, but go on towards discernment, strength, on the grounds of worlds within worlds. So this tells me that it's really something spiritual going on, but we're processing the mundane. And see, when this comes out, because I work with spirits and they show up to me like this, when I see this spirit, it literally means I need to go into or out of the underworld. It talks about soul retrieval. So let's read that. We're reading from the Cosmic Activation Oracle cards today from Nadi Anastasia. Activation cards for the soul, and we'll be reading from card number 30 and 34. I'm sorry, card number 30 and 36. 34 is unconditional love. Maybe I'll read all three. 30 is strength. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. This card comes to you to remind you of your inner strength and courage. Although you may be feeling weary and helpless at this time, do not lose faith and heart. You are a lot stronger than you realize. Moving through this chapter of your life, you will understand the lesson of having to release your inner resistance and fears. By uncovering your true strength, you will have the courage to move through it with clarity, understanding, and compassion. Your prayers for strength have been heard. Release all fears that are blocking spiritual guidance. Break down all walls, or breaking down walls will help you see, dear one, all the synchronicities and signs communicated to you. The spirit teachers of love and light wish only to serve the highest good for all, to offer guidance, love, and reminders of what you already hold within you. You hold so much strength, courage, determination, and perseverance. The first step in uncovering and embracing your true strength is to accept your current state, whether it is vulnerability, powerlessness, emotional fragility, or weakness. The second step is surrendering to the universal life force of love, allowing the third step, empowerment, to flow into your life naturally. Strength and empowerment will come. Use this chapter to find your deepest source of strength, to renew your faith, and to be all that you truly are, a spiritual warrior living in conscious freedom. So that's true. You're going to need the strength to let go of old things, because what's the price for your new life? Your old life. You know, where is all that you want? It's right outside your comfort zone. All the growth that happens for you in your life is right outside the comfort zone. So the associated chakras are the sacral and the solar plexus, and the prayer here is, Great Spirit, guide me through this period. Give me insight, courage, and strength. I need to cultivate the source of strength already within me. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. World Within Worlds, number 36, and this is on page pagina 93. World Within Worlds. Peace comes within the souls of men when they realize their oneness with the universe. When they realize it is really everywhere, it is in each one of us. And that's by Black Elk. Black Elk was a prominent leader in the Native community, and I forget what tribe he's from, and it was like 1930s. This card serves as a reminder to look within yourself for answers. It is wonderful that you are so open to the opinions of others, but be discerning. Use your inner knowing to decipher and interpret what feels right for you. Many look for the source of life outside of themselves, but if you truly wish to connect to the greater pool of conscious love, look within. Inside you, the cosmic universe spans, with inner worlds and stars, yes, inside of you. You are the master and the creator of the worlds and galaxies within you. How you are as the creator ultimately affects the outer world that you are also a part of. See yourself as the greater body, and within you the cell that also needs to hold its vibration and healthy light. You are a creative You, as a creative master, can affect yourselves or worlds by your thoughts, actions, and words. Raising the healthy light of your cells raises your own vibrational light, thus raising planetary light as a whole. If a cell in your body is imbalanced and sick, this sickness slowly starts to spread to the rest of the body. See the earth as a cell in the body of the universe's energy. It is vital that the vibration of the earth is raised to positively affect this greater universal body. You are a creative God of infinite power and light. The more you come to understand this truth, the more you will be amazed by the power you hold as the individual to manifest and bring about peace and change. So the affirmation here is, I am love, expanding and growing in power, clarity, and truth. The associated chakras are the heart, the third eye, and the crown. So that's the thing. I was saying that a lot of times we'll be waking up, and oftentimes it's that we're finding knowledge of the self, who we are, what we like, truths about ourselves that have always been there that we're finally beginning to see. And what that will equate to in the physical is that, excuse me, I just bumped the mic. What that will equate to in the physical is that we're waking up. We're beginning to see people, places, and things. And we're beginning to notice that our environments are changing, that the world around us is supporting us. Now, it also is going to be that we're repelling old people, places, and things, that, and it will be including jobs. And some of us, I know people even leaving the country, moving out of the country. So for some reason, they want us to read Unconditional Love. And we're going to do that right now. The ultimate lesson of all of us, the ultimate lesson all of us have to learn is unconditional love, which includes not only others but ourselves as well. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. You have a choice between two doors, unconditional love and conditional love. Unconditional love is the love without judgment, conditions, expectations, and demands. It is love that stems from the heart space and is comprised completely of pure love, forgiveness, and compassion. Conditional love, however, is to love with conditions, expectations, attachments, fears, and judgments. Love is given and received freely as long as the conditions of love contract are being met. When others fail to meet the requirements of this love contract, love is lost and replaced with issues of fear, distrust, and doubts. To have unconditional love is to first love yourself entirely. When you completely love yourself with all of your imperfections, you will have a greater love and compassion towards others. If you're in a space where your love is conditional, ask yourself, from where does this condition stem? Most often, you will find limiting thoughts and beliefs lingering in your subconscious. Deeper still, you may uncover the wounded child within you. It is to this wounded child that love, understanding, and compassion must be shared. Now that you see the inner wounds within you, with the gentleness of love, you are better able to see the wounded child within others. You will clearly see this part of them that is most in need of love. This does not mean that you must stay in a situation that does not serve your highest good, like abuse. Sometimes loving unconditionally means having to walk away. The affirmation here is, I love all facets of myself and send away any hurts or wounds within me with love and compassion. The associated chakras here are sacral and heart. So that's exactly what I experienced and what I came up with this sermon for, because I was sitting there, I shared with somebody who calls himself an elder, and I don't respect them as that. And that was the beginning of our issue a while ago. I remember going off on him. I was like, you ain't shit. Da, 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 da. Fuck you and your mama. Da, 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 da. And then I ended up going back to him weeks later being like, everything I said was really justified, but if I can't be nice to you, I should at least be kind. Like, you know that you're a miserable mother effer. You know that you are clearly lost and delusional. I don't need to remind you of that. I need to be here open-hearted and receptive, showing you love and compassion so that you have the the juice to do your own work, provided you should provide yourself with juice and compassion. But what is juice? Join us in creating excitement, right? And if I'm going to be a detractor or a critic, why don't I just move out of your path? Because you're walking your own path. Maybe your purpose is to serve me as a reminder in my environment of what being unawakened looks like, or what a plastic shaman looks like, a woke mother effer going around who really ain't woke. And so this is like our old beef. And so we kind of reconnected, and I was explaining to him something about lineages and da-da-da-da, and he says this like the stupidest thing to me. The stupidest thing to me. And so Mama was about to like feast. She was about to slay. And I snapped back at him, and I was like, I'm going to snatch that stupid right up off you. Let me help you here. And I was meeting a wall, like a person who couldn't even understand the concepts and ideas that I was saying, let alone the insults I was slinging. And so I was like, okay, I'm whole in myself, and what I have right now is a need to be understood by someone who's not even qualified to understand. I'm worried about someone's opinion who isn't even a credible opinion. Why am I invested in selling myself to somebody who's invested in misunderstanding me? And then the shift happened of like, oh, okay, well, wait. I don't need you to make me feel any better about myself. I don't need you to justify my existence at all. And frankly, I don't really even need you to agree with me. And so then I had to like go back to him and be like, everything I said to you, I stand by, but I do apologize for my behavior. And here I am yet again, apologizing for my behavior. There's not many people in my life where I lose my cool with, and I tend to dump you once I've lost my cool twice or thrice. Because it's kind of like, I don't like the person that I turn into around you, but I can't blame them. Because I'm the one losing my cool. I'm the one who needs to be like, well, what is alive in me that has this type of investment? So I pulled Earth, utilized logic, reason, and common sense on the grounds of seduction. And then we have a long journey brings rewards. So I've been engaging with this person for 18 months, and it says temptations may lead you astray. So I really wanted to educate him. I wanted to bring out some concepts and ideas. And I wanted to be like, homie, you're calling yourself an elder, and you really can't even show up to the party and blow out the candles here. I tell you to blow your nose on this tissue here, and you go, that's how stupid you are. And so we had this exchange, and I left humbled. Being like, your heart is so pure, it's hard to hate you, but you're just dumb as F. You know me, and I'm inclined to tell somebody, crawl back up your mamas and try again next lifetime, honey. A for effort, fail for result, bye. Peace, homie, peace. And, this is the person who shows up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to talk about their morning smoothie. That's a lot of enthusiasm for a dumbass. And the lesson that I learned in that moment was like, this is me moving into my place of power. I would choose not to associate with you, but I'm in a situation with you, and now I'm choosing to move towards compassion. If I'm sitting here judging you, how spiritual am I really? If I need to find meaning in my life by demeaning you in your life, how spiritual am I really? If I'm becoming full of judgment and I'm admonishing you for your lack of ability to emotionally connect, how spiritual am I really? And yeah, I find you repulsive, but the universe is not repelling me away from you. They keep on putting us together. So clearly I need to take a message from Mama Goddess, the universe, and learn my lessons, take my lickings, and move on. Because hopefully when I move on, you'll be in the past, in the rear view, when I'll never have to lay my eyes on you again. Versus like, you privileged mother effer with y'all your stupid little white man new world shenanigans Because it really was kind of like, I don't understand why XYZ Olympian is kind of like, oh my gosh, you're not even qualified to talk about this. You really need to stop moving your mouth on this matter. Like, I remember I was in a meeting with somebody who said, well, now that racism is over in America, and I was kind of like, are you even qualified to say that? You know, those little things, I was like, not hot and heated. What I realized in this conversation, I'm trying to like leave the details out. So I realized in this conversation, I felt reduced and minimized. But that would have meant that I was pulling my power from the external environment and not internally. I wasn't the source of my own power. So I'm just going to pull an archetype card here and wrap it up. Father, on the grounds of dilettante. Oh, I can't make this up. So let me read you dilettante. Pretension to much deeper knowledge than one actually possesses. That's what sparked me off with this person. It was like, listen here, you dumb fool, expletive. You know, I'm a dragon. I'll spit venom in your face. Like, I don't know who lied to you and told you that bullshit story, but XYZ MLP, and just so you didn't know, ABC XYZ MLP, you know, I'll go there. TUV. I'll go there. I don't care who you are. Literally. I've been in a meeting with the mayor and was like, stop talking. I don't care about your little office. I can't hear those words. And it didn't go over well, but I wouldn't have been able to sleep that night if I didn't do it. You know, and I don't need to be rude. I'm not saying I go out of my way to be disrespectful. I don't, especially if I want to be invited back. But I can't watch injustice. I can't do it. I can't. So delights in the arts without having to be a professional alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So as much as this person is completely in another world, they show up with an open heart. There's not any pretension to them. There's no phoniness, no facade to them. They believe what they're saying, and they're doing it with an open heart, trying to unify and connect. It's not all that effective, but their intention is pure, and they're not like paying my taxes or planning my vacation, so I don't need them to be accurate. It would have been better for me to like try to align with them, connect with them. I remember I had a business coach tell me, you know, sweetie, you don't need to, you need to be effective with people and efficient with things. Stop treating people like there's some strategy on a business plan that you're about to implement. You need to be efficient with tasks and effective with people. And I'm a task-oriented individual. I keep my eye on the prize. I eradicate obstacles. And this mother effer was an obstacle to me, our peace of mind. Yeah, that sounds good, but really when you think about it, there's a syntax error and not roundabout logic. Nobody outside of me is responsible for what I feel inside of me. Positive or negative. You can't make me feel better or less than by any means. Yes, you can contribute to the environment that facilitates the experience of me being pleased or displeased, but you cannot directly make me feel anything. I feel how I feel because of what I'm deciding to think, and my thoughts are a product of my belief system, which is a product of my programming. What I've been programmed and conditioned to believe, to think, to see, to feel. And my belief system is going to be my comprehension of my place in this world. Disempowered, empowered, a goddess, a queen, a pissant, a peasant, whatever. So Father here, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. This person tries to be everybody's teacher, mansplains, white-splains, the whole nine. So dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Yeah. You go a little bit too much and it doesn't feel like we're friends. It feels like you're a bad boss, even though we're just community members. So let's close with something positive, right? I'm just going to pull a final card here. I'm hearing a song, Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I cannot afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon a seat of a bicycle built for two. I haven't heard that song in a few years, but really it's, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. I used to hear that song all the time. So actions of love. Take movement forward to drive life forward from the heart on the grounds of you're your own person. You don't need anybody else for anything. So always have an open heart, because if it doesn't be responded to, if you are giving of yourself and if you're vulnerable with some person, place, or thing and it doesn't go over well, then there's healing there. It doesn't really matter. It's a learning experience. The shadow comes out to the surface. And you'll still be victorious. So it's an honor and a pleasure to serve you today. I'm resting. Okay, and I'll be back. We'll be back. There's a lot of great things in store. I keep saying these things, so why don't you just check the show notes and go from there. Talk to you soon. Bye.